Hey, Kiss Army, it's Bruce Kulick, with my beautiful silent guitar. And you're listening to the Kiss Army Nation podcast. They're incredible, so crank it up with them.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to episode 79 of the Kiss Army Nation podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Pasquale Veri.
And I am Claudius Pera. Welcome to the show, everyone.
So now for our latest discussion panel, we are once again joined by our panel guests, Craig Patton. Hey, Craig.
Hey, guys.
And Patrick de Montigny.
Hi.
So guys, anything new in your respective Kiss world? Craig, what's new with you?
Not really much in the Kiss world. I mean, I'm still just waiting for that nice box set to come in. But basically, it's just revisiting old stuff. I went through the old albums the other day, looking through the inserts and stuff like that, having a nostalgia night, and it was good.
Oh, nice. And Patrick, your Kiss room, how's that coming along?
Well, as you probably were able to tell, there's still plenty of work to do, but I think that's going to be the fun part. I mean, after doing like the painting and all of that stuff, I think now it comes the fun part. But with summer, like stretching out a bit, it was, you should see the sun, and no matter how much you love Kiss, you want to enjoy the sun but now, probably by November, I'm going to start, elaborating and decorating. That's the fun part,
Fantastic. I can't wait to see the final product.
Yeah, we'll have to get together there just to celebrate.
Sure,
not
sure.
a problem. Mm-hmm. It's nice to see you guys again, and as usual, we're going to start our panel discussion with an off-the-topic question. So by now, I guess most of us, we have all received the Demons of Rock and the Phantom book by Per Street and Alain Belisha. So what are your thoughts on this book and newsletter that came with it? Craig, I'm going to start with you.
I thought it was well done as well as the other one. It was a nice topic with the Phantom there. It's always a good quality product that they put out. So it's on a fan's perspective too, right? So it's to me it's good. I like to see those non-circulated photos and stories. It was great.
Good stuff. Pat?
Oh, I'm right there with Craig. I mean, because it's vintage stuff, which is what we love to see. And the fact is that you go through the books and you go, oh my God, I've never seen this. Wow, this is amazing. So you get the wow factor in, and those guys, I think they know what. Probably it's not every Kiss fan who wants that, but I know that a portion of those fans want that stuff, and I think they hit the bullseye for sure. So no, it's really nicely done for sure.
Yeah,
love it.
Musk.
I don't know what it is about Alan's and Per's books, but it's like, to me, it's like it's magical. It takes you back in time. I didn't have a chance to go through it deeply yet. I was going through the pictures page by page, and all the ads in it from around the world, and the articles in here about Kiss Meets the Phantom. It just brings me back to the days when that was the first time I saw Kiss live on television, as moving figures.
Right.
And I don't know, his books always bring me back to moments in time in my history, and this book, like his other book, did it again. It's like, now I want to see Kiss Meets the Phantom after going through this book. And I also like the newsletter. It reminds me of the old school newsletters that came out back in the 80s and 90s and stuff. So no, fantastic stuff. And I know he's coming out with more newsletters. And I heard that there's some kind of project that he's working on that's coming out soon that he was teasing. So I mean, every time he mentions that, it's like, take my money now. I'm like, I'm in. There's no way I'm passing on any of his stuff, because it's quality stuff, and it's made with such passion because he's a fan. And there are pictures in there and ads in there that I've never seen before. And how could you? It came from around the world, you know. It's just a privilege to go through those pages. And again, after all these years of history, to still see something new, even for a diehard fan, is something just incredible. It really is.
Yeah, well, I'm with you guys. I think it's, it's guaranteed. Anything that Alan Delisha is touching, it comes with the quality stamp, no doubt about it. It's incredible how 140 pages, capture the essence of what that film was. There's, I was reading somewhere that there's like almost 600 images from 25 different countries. And, to me, it's totally eye candy for all the items associated with the film. And in my case, I never knew that this much was created to promote the film, because, from different countries. And I remember in South America, it was just at the movies, in the cinema, it was not for TV. But when you look at stuff, flyers from the UK, and many different places, really, it's a must-have. To me, it's unbelievable. Great job.
Nice. All right, guys. So I've been really looking forward to today's episode. So this discussion panel is entitled Assignment Kiss. Why, you ask? Because on the last two discussion panels, we were given an assignment, and on both occasions, well, I didn't do it. I had my reasons, but I didn't do it. So these clowns over here thought it would be funny if we did an episode filled with one assignment after the next. Can you believe that? So Claudio, Mr. Funny Guy,
there you go.
Why don't you explain what Assignment Kiss is all about?
Look, I'm happy, and I can see already you're so excited. So apparently you must have done your homework.
I am ready, man.
You got it. So basically, what we want to do on this episode with our, great guests, as usual, Craig and Pat, we're going to play a little game called Top 5 for 5. So we basically assign 5 topics, all, of course, KISS related. And our job was to come with our top 5 for each topic, which we could then discuss, here in the panel. So I hope everyone, and by everyone I mean you, Pask, there you go.
Look at that.
You did your homework.
Did my homework.
So there you go. We're gonna get it started. So first one. So what are your top 5 controversial statements made by Mr. Gene Simmons? So just to make sure that you did your homework, Pasquale. So we'll start with you.
Sure. Pick on me. Okay. So I found that the first quote was really appropriate for this particular question. And it reads as such: instead of worrying what people think, I just go on my merry way and do whatever I want to do. If I could, I would trademark the air you breathe. Yes, breathe. Yes, I would. That's really apropos to something Gene would say. Number 2, for a putz 20-year-old kid to say, I'm depressed, I live in Seattle, F you, then kill yourself. I never understood, because I always call them out on their bluff. I'm the guy who says jump when there's a guy on top of a building who says, that's it, I can't take it anymore, I'm going to jump. Are you kidding? Why are you announcing it? Shut the F up, have some dignity, and jump. You've got the crowd. Don't get me started. Number 3, it was pathetic to see another musical legend die from a drug overdose before the autopsy, and that's happened before the autopsy results were even announced, by the way. Number 4, the more money you have, the more chicks will like you. Pull up in a beat up old Volkswagen and ask a young lady if she wants to grab some baked beans and a hot dog, or pull up in a Rolls Royce and say, get in, I'm taking you to wherever I want to go. What do you think she wants to do? She wants to be treated like a queen. And finally, number 5, It should be on every ticket. 30 to 50% of the show is backing tracks. They'll sing sometimes they'll lip sync. Hey, at least let's be honest. So those are the 5 quotes I found from Gene.
Wow. I guess we're gonna do the round of each one of us, and then we'll discuss. So, Craig, you're next.
Okay, so I had a similar one to what Task had about rock is dead, saying that the rock industry is also dead. I mean, it's also talking about teenagers and how they're streaming videos and streaming music, which means that the musicians can't make any more money. The countless comments on Peter and Ace bashing. I mean, there was too many to list here. I know, for example, 3 different times and various reasons that these guys were just getting bambasted during that whole the vault thing, where they were even arguing between Ace and Gene at his vault thing. Comments on Prince also, like death is pathetic, and that was not appropriate. Now there was one, I don't know if you guys dug this one up, that it was an interview on Oprah Winfrey show, and Gene and Paul were on it, and they were talking about groupies and girls and stuff like that. And Oprah asked Gene, "So how long is your tongue?" And she got the answer saying, "Well, Oprah, it's long enough to be your best friend." That was a wow moment.
Wow.
And then I had the same one as Pascal with the last one too.
Okay, cool.
That one was too much.
Patrick?
My first one was in a book called Kissed, which was like basically a quality fanzine that it was like a book, but paperback, but it was good. He said, Ace and Peter are both aware that they blew it big time. Also, the rock is dead comment. Also, celebrities should shut their pie holes.
Yeah.
And also, when he says on Extreme Close-Up, the last 10 years were a total waste of time regarding Gene himself. And the last one, same video, when he says top notch, talking about Eric Carr, top notch buried Peter Criss, much, much better drummer than Peter Criss. So I agree with some of them, but anyhow.
It's the way he says it.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, coming out from Gene, it's the way he sometimes he expresses, himself, and what's shocking. And definitely, I think he gets what he wants. He gets attention, and that's what he's always done. I have many of those that you already mentioned, but I have some others that I think they are worth visiting. On hip hop, he once said, "I'm looking forward to the death of rap." Okay, so he said, "I'm looking forward to music coming back to lyrics and melody instead of just talking. The song, as far as I'm concerned, is by definition lyric and melody, or just melody." Then he said something about piracy, on music, and I think it comes hand in hand with what you guys mentioned already. For rock didn't die of old age; it was murdered. Okay, he was very clear on that. Then he went against Guns N' Roses. I remember he's very well known to go against the U2 and Rolling Stones, but in the case of Guns N' Roses, he once said Guns N' Roses could have been the best band in the world, and the reason they are not is because of Axl Rose. Drugs, heroin, alcohol, and all that, but ultimately it falls on Axl Rose's shoulders. That was kind of interesting. And then last but not least, I have one which is already talking about his men, women kind of stuff. And he says, men want sex, companionship, peace and quiet, whilst women want everything all the time. They want everything. Yeah. Well, again, guys, let's open up the floor. So what would you guys, I guess there's so much to say, but that's usual Gene Simmons. Do you think that he really means what he says, or he's just trying to open up his mouth to make people talk?
Well, I think Gene talks for the sake of talking. I don't think he thinks before he speaks. And how many times has Gene said something and then he retracts his statement?
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
I would respect more what he says, regardless of my values and my principles and how I feel about his comments. I would respect it more if he stuck to his guns.
Yeah.
But almost every time, especially with the huge controversial topics, about women, about Prince, about the suicide, he takes it back. That says that he was not thinking before he speaks. But I'm sorry, Gene is an intelligent person, and I think everything Gene does is calculated. And he knows that bad press is good press. Any press is good press. And as long as people pay attention to him, they pay attention to Kiss, and then the money starts coming in.
Mhm.
And then, how convenient that he then retracts his statements. Now that everybody has heard them, everybody's talking about it, he's got all the attention. I'm going to retract it. I'm sorry. In my opinion, there's no integrity in that.
Mhm.
And if he's talking about a brand, doing that is not the right way to promote the brand. I feel that the more he does that, the more he hurts the brand, the more he hurts the band. And how many times has Paul sat next to him when he made one of his silly comments and just Paul nods his head, rolls his eyes, or says, oh boy. In other words, here we go again,
Sure.
And that sends a message to the Kiss fans out there,
Yeah.
And as a diehard fan, we know Gene, we know what he's like, we let it go. But for the casual fan just introduced to the band and hearing this, I think they would be easily turned off to it.
Yeah. Fully agree. Totally agree. Craig, anything to add?
I remember seeing an interview with Gene and Paul during the Revenge era, and there was Paul was just giving it to him, and he's like saying, stop the cameras.
Yeah, I remember seeing
why
that.
are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
And he was like giving him back of his own medicine kind of thing, right? And let's face it, he loves the sound of his own voice. He's righteous, he's this, he's that, but he's Gene Simmons.
It's Gene Simmons. That's it.
Yeah, I think as far as, I think he says things sometimes, especially regarding Ace and Peter, I think it's probably because of bitterness a little bit that things worked out the way they did. I'm not going to say who's right or who's wrong, but it's just it's probably bitterness. And like you said, sometimes he says things maybe a little too fast. But like you said, maybe at the same time, it's maybe to create a reaction and say, because probably Ace and Peter will reply, through the papers or anything like that, So, and also, like, he should be careful what he says about, things like suicide because it's a very serious subject. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, true.
Claudia, what are your thoughts?
Well, look, I'm with you guys. I think you covered it all. To me, what makes me really, sad sometimes and makes me upset, it's when he's talking about, values and then he seems to sound too like moral, and some, even what he does with his marriage and stuff, he was saying all the time, happily unmarried for so long, and then, he retracted on a very heavy, milestone in any person's life, so he was basically, not taking into account what Shannon was going to say or think, and then all of a sudden he was saying, yeah, I've been a teenager, immature and blah blah blah. But it's dangerous. I don't know. There's now with all the media we have these days, you can easily disregard what anybody says. But for even for casual fans, as you said, Paz, when you first get a taste of what one of the big members of Kiss is saying, and you get confronted with this kind of statement, it's not good. It's not good for the band. It's not good for the band at all. So to me, it's but anyways, he's not gonna keep his mouth shut. That's for sure.
Like Craig said, he's Gene Simmons.
That's right.
Right on.
All right, number 2. So as you all know, I love fan projects. So my question is, what are your top 5 fan projects? Claudio.
My top 5 fan project, and I think this is a great question, by the way. To me, this is one of them. Podcasts, to me, they are so much fun. And I never thought we were going to have so much fun like we're having with the Kiss Army Nation podcast. So that's one. Second, it's all the editing and enhancing videos and footage. You know, the kind of stuff that, for instance, Andrew Sgambati is doing. There's more people doing that these days. They're taking, you know, live footage from the past and they're trying to apply technology to make it, you know, the image better, the sound better. That's amazing to me. Pre-parties, for instance, Bruce Fest. To me, you know, what Joe and Patrice are doing, and we're helping out to be, that's a really fun project, you know, to do something before you get on the boat, before you get on the ship, just to share, you know, with friends and get guests and you name it. To me, that's a really fun project. I'm really heavy on fanzines and kind of Kiss Army publications. I love seeing what fans can do on that one. I really love it. And last but not least, it's books. You know, any book that comes out made by a fan, it's always so unique. So we just talked about the one from Alain Belicia, but there are so many out there. It doesn't have to be a historian, so you don't have to be a big deep into history. But any book, it's a very unique project to me. So I really love those.
Cool. Patrick.
Well, it's pretty much, I could say the same thing as Claudio. First, I love when people put out books like Alain's, and you've got even the hottest brand in the land. You've got, what else? You've got a few. There's one from Sweden. It's a Swedish title. I can't remember, but it's every time they played Sweden. Oh, wow. It's so nice to look at. So books like that, I always appreciate. Also podcasts too. I mean, obviously it's fun and you get to hear other fans' perspective, which is always nice. Also something that may be passé, but was fun at conventions.
Okay.
Expos, or as we call them now. It's always fun to gather with other fans, you know, you get together, you get some merch, and sometimes you have a guest or a tribute band. It's all fun. All of the, it's like I like the atmosphere. I remember going to the ones in the early 90s. Wow, it was amazing. Also tribute bands. You know, when you get a good tribute band, you look at them and, you know, they recreate, you know, some of them are really good. And when they recreate, you know, it's a lot of hard work. People don't realize it's not like just putting your guitar on and just going on stage. You have to do the costumes and you have to make it. Kiss fans are so how can I say, picky when it comes to those things, and they'll look if something's not quite right. So you got that, and also fanzines as well. We miss them now, the newsletters. I mean, I remember that's the thing I miss, going to the mailbox and seeing you know, fan made I miss that. The internet is fast, but you don't have that pleasure. So
cool.
That's
Craig.
Yeah, I had most of those already. I'm looking also stuff like Ancient Door and Phantom and those kind of things. I really like to see that when the fans, they recreate the music, and sometimes they make it a little bit better than the original, and it's definitely out there for different views, different takes on the music, right? I'd also mentioned Kiss Cruise Fests, podcasts, past what you did with those parties, those New Year's Rockin' Eves and those Christmas parties are greatly appreciated and great fun, and the dedication you had for the band and for your friends and for the Kiss community was outstanding.
Wow, thanks.
And, it was really great. And I'd also mentioned with the Scum Bodies and that note too. Yeah.
So I almost feel bad for saying this after you made that amazing compliment, Craig. Thank you so much. But I believe, Craig, that you and Claudio copied my homework because it's pretty much the same.
It leaked.
It leaked somehow. It leaked.
Got an advanced copy.
That's what happens when you are the last one, just to respond, because all of the other guys already said that.
I've got nothing, but I promise that I did it. I swear that I did it. But yeah, a lot like you guys, I have I focused on fan videos, so specifically Andrew Scambati's projects. Yeah. Greatest Show on Earth, One Last Time, Alive 76. Professional quality videos, and something that you could watch over and over again, and something that you haven't seen in the general market, which I thought was just amazing. Books, of course, specifically Julian Gill's books, Odyssey, Danger Zone, his books on solo albums, his books focus on the minutia, and the details that went into these books is just second to none. Of course, Alan's books, it goes without saying. And like you guys, fan events such as Cruise Fest, Creatures Fest, the Rockin' Pod, anything that brings the KISS community together or brings people together, it's just an amazing experience and an admirable experience. Music, H and Door, Reggae Kiss, Car Jam 21, Phantoms, just amazing music. And I agree with you, Craig. A lot of it is sometimes better than the original. Incredible stuff. And again, podcasts. I love the new podcasts that are out there, including our own. And again, Claudia, you're so right. It's what a genuine pleasure it is to do this. And again, connect with the KISS community. But there's also other new podcasts out there that do an incredible job. Right Between the Eyes with Rob and the Carusos. KISS Army Things with Xander and Jeb. Alive Unplugged, the music of KISS with Cameron Duty. Amazing podcasts that do a fantastic job discussing KISS with passion and bringing the community together. You can't go wrong when it's about the people.
It is unbelievable. Just to wrap up, I would like to say that every member of KISS, they are so fortunate of having such a big following and fans like KISS fans. Because in my case, I am enjoying much more what fans are doing than what the band is doing these days. And of course, they are there, they are at the end of the road and blah, blah, blah. But how many times have we mentioned that we would like to have new music, we would like to have this and that, box set. But the stuff that has been created by fans, I think, was keeping KISS alive. It's I don't know how to put it in words, but it gives more joy to me to do things like, I don't know, Cruise Fest or even podcast and books and everything than the official catalog from products from KISS. In my case, it to me it looks more legit, more genuine, and it comes from the heart, and it's all volunteer. Because I don't think that any fans is making a lot of money with the stuff that they're putting out. So,
hey, Patrick, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think KISS has very dedicated fans. I don't know if there are fanzines or conventions about other bands. So therefore, I think in this case, we're very, very lucky to have fans who go the extra mile to do those things. We mentioned always Alain and Paris books, but you've got like the documentaries and things like that. It's people don't realize it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So you have to, sacrifice a lot of time and be willing to go, till the end to make it happen. And so that's why I'm a little hesitant to say something bad about those things, because I know what it involves. And I try to say, well, somebody did it, so that's we're lucky to have that to begin with. So, it's all good in my opinion.
Craig.
Yeah, I just forgot to mention too, Patrick, when you did your conventions too. So
Oh,
that
nice.
Yeah.
was greatly appreciated too. And
Great times.
yeah, yeah, and there were fun stuff, challenging but fun.
Yeah.
Uh, the same thing you guys said. I mean, there's nothing more I can add.
For me, I just want to say that, Joe D'Angelo and his wife Patrice are really the epitome of what Kiss fans do for other fans. And Claudio, like you were saying, the sacrifices and the hard work and the dedication and the passion that goes into creating an event like Cruise Fest. And they're not making a dime off of this,
And sometimes even losing money.
and
Yeah.
sometimes even losing money. And Claudia, we're both volunteering for this Cruise Fest, and we know what they're going through to make this thing happen.
Yep.
And their ultimate goal is for the fans to be happy, not for me to be happy, not to make money, but for the fans to be happy, to have a good time before we go on the cruise. And that is, to me, where else do you find that besides in the KISS community, really?
Yeah.
And again, any activity or a project where it brings fans together, it's the most admirable thing you can do, bringing people together.
Super. Okay, so let's move on into the next one. We've talked about Cruise Fest, and of course, we have the upcoming KISS Cruise. So we thought that maybe we should include a question related to that event. So whether you have been there in one of the cruises, or you saw it on the social media. So what are your top 5 KISS Cruise moments? Patrick.
I'm going to be honest here. I only have 2 because, to be honest, I haven't watched. There's so much stuff to watch on YouTube and things like that. It's really hard to keep up. But there are 2 things that I can say. The one that I like the best is Gene's son, Nick, jamming with Paul's son, Evan.
Evan. Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the song they played, but it was like, wow, that's pretty wild to see them play together. I know it was a one-time thing, but I think, it was like, oh, that I'm curious to see. And I really enjoyed it. And you could tell they were having fun doing it. No pressure, nothing. So that was a very nice, casual, but historic event.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, too, is that I've seen some of the performances they do without makeup outside. And they play like rarer songs, which I think is great. We need that, because don't get me wrong, they can't say we can't play the songs for the casual fans out there. They don't know half the stuff, but the people who go on the cruise, they know everything, so they can't have that excuse. It's fun when they're flirting with lesser played songs.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the 2. I don't have much more than that.
Great, thank you. Craig?
Well, for me, it's also definitely the set lists in the early cruises, especially when they did play those B and C sides, where it's definitely a treat for the diehards, right? Secondly, I think for me, it was definitely putting on the KISS makeup with Pascal when we went.
Yeah.
Something I said I would never do, and I really enjoyed it, and I was glad I did it. And that picture where we're face to face is an icon.
Yeah.
I think also meeting people on the KISS cruises and seeing them live rather than pictures on Facebook and stuff like that, getting to know them, getting to actually speak with them, and that for me was a great thrill for me. What else could I say? Oh, definitely meet and greets with the bands on that, and the pictures. And we were lucky to have extra time with the band when we were taking our pictures. And I even give Eric crap for not fist pumping me, but that was a good laugh. But also, meeting Gene and definitely was a thrill for me. So and basically just going on a KISS cruise and with good friends and having a great time. I mean, it's something that brings you together, right? It's unexplainable to a person who doesn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's a family reunion, and for me it's going to be a lasting memory.
Good, great, thank you. Vasc, on to you.
I'd like to say, Kiss Cruise 1 in general, because that was just an amazing experience because nobody knew what to expect from that cruise. But my top 5 are more, some of the things that I've experienced on the cruises that I've been to. And my first one is photos with Kiss. To me, that's what made Kiss Cruise special, that you're up close with the band in full costume and makeup. And, it's too bad they're not doing that now. And I remember taking pictures with, we were 9 people on Kiss Cruise 1. And to this day, after 10 years, we're still friends today. And these are people I met for the first time through this picture. Just an incredible memory. My second is my Gene Simmons meet and greet on Kiss Cruise 4. And I'm going to be honest, as amazing as it was to meet Gene and, waiting in his suite for our turn to meet him and looking around like it was an episode of Family Jewels, what made that extra special for me is I had the opportunity to bring Craig there on his 50th birthday and how happy that made him. And that to me was a highlight because, I made his 50th birthday special. And that was just incredible.
Middle East, yeah.
The Halloween party on Kiss Cruise 1. I've seen Halloween parties on other cruises. I've been to the one on 4 and 5. I've seen nothing that can compare to the Halloween party on the outdoor upper deck. It was a party to end all parties. That is never going to happen again. It was just an incredible experience. Number 4, 2 words, Bruce Kulick.
Mm-hmm.
Enough said. Enough said. Right now, it's no longer the Kiss Cruise, it's the Bruce Kulick Cruise. He is the highlight of Kiss Cruises now.
Yeah.
And my final is the karaoke and casino late nights. You're running around the ship doing everything all day, waiting in line, seeing the show, rocking out the bands. But at the end of the night, you're partying with the Kiss Army. You're unwinding, you're drinking, you're singing, you're gambling, you're connecting. To me, that is the most amazing way to end a night on a Kiss cruise.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Claudio?
Well, in my case, I've been to the Kiss Cruise 3 and 4, and I remember when Kiss first announced that they were going to do a cruise, I didn't think it was a great idea. Actually, I was hesitating about it. But then after seeing what happened with number 1 and 2, we decided as a family to go, the 4 of us, with my wife and my kids. And I remember, my top 5 moments, they are not strictly related to that cruise, but I remember, the excitement of all the days before going there. And I remember all the pre-parties that were taking place, bringing, Kiss fans together, people, going around the streets in Kiss t-shirts and all of that. That was a very high moment for me. Then another one was as we were getting into the ship for Kiss Cruise 3, we didn't know what to expect. So everything was new. We happened to see friends from different parts of the world. So meeting, as Pat was saying, and Craig, meeting fans that were part of Facebook or some social media, but then seeing them face to face, it's something that you cannot describe with words. Another key moment for me, it's the Sail Away show. The Sail Away show on that Kiss Cruise 3, I will never forget it. These guys playing, unplugged or kind of electric, but really, laid back and playing any songs that the fans wanted to listen to. The picture with the band, I don't think I will ever get so emotional as that Kiss Cruise 3 with my family waiting in line, to be in front of them with makeup. I had never taken a picture with them in makeup before, so that was something I will never forget. And I think the last one, it's what's coming up. So for our next Kiss Cruise. So I I had lost a little bit of passion on the cruise the last couple of years, but now I remember when they first announced that this is going to be the last time they're going to be playing on board. To me, that's not the most important part of this. To me, it's again, recapturing and being there with you, Pasc, and Andy and some other friends, having fun. And as you said, karaoke nights and unwinding and being relaxed, within the KISS family, that's going to be a top 5 for sure.
Okay. Any final comments generally about KISS Cruise compared to other KISS related events? What are your thoughts about KISS Cruise? Patrick?
I think it's a good thing. It's too bad the timing isn't always right for me to go there, but I think I love the idea because, again, it kind of replaces the official KISS conventions that they did. So it's a good concept.
Craig?
Yeah, I think that it's definitely a get-together of diehard fans, and it's everybody with the same kind of ideas and thoughts, and it's just, you talk to somebody else and they get you, they get it. But, you don't see other bands doing this, other huge bands. I don't see an AC/DC Cruise or, so it's special. It's definitely something that I was glad to be a part of. And if they may have 11, maybe, we'll see what happens. But definitely something that you'll remember forever.
Claudio?
Well, in terms of offering, what the KISS Cruise is offering these days, I think we all agree that it's much less than what it used to be. Okay, so if we only pay attention to what the band has to offer as a product, I think it went down. But still, this shows that this is about us. This is about the fans. So it's not so much on what the band has to offer. Look, we're not even. We don't even have the chance to take a picture with them anymore, so for different reasons. But we're also excited because we're going to be, partaking and we're going to be having fun with KISS fans. So to me, at the end of the day, it's another fun project, even if it's not organized by fans, it is still a fun, it's a fans project to me.
No, I got to tell you, I've always been a diehard KISS fan, in the 70s. I know I checked out in the 80s and got back into KISS in the 90s. I've always been a diehard. But when the KISS Cruise 1 was announced and when I went on the first KISS Cruise, my fandom shot through the stratosphere. Because for me, KISS has always been about connecting with other people. And, I met a lot of people through my love for KISS. All of you, for example, I met you through KISS. The amazing thing with the KISS Cruise is that we are not just KISS fans or we are friends because of KISS. Because of KISS Cruise, we became a family because of KISS. And you see it online where there's constant bickering and fighting and name calling back and forth. But then when those same people get on the ship, they're hugging each other, glad to see each other, sharing a drink. That's what happens at Christmas. That's what happens at Thanksgiving. That's what happens on the KISS Cruise. We're family. And, I thank Sixman and KISS for giving us this incredible opportunity. That's the KISS Cruise. It's amazing. Amazing. I haven't been looking forward to the next one, the next question. Listen, I'm not a fan of Gene's musical contributions to 80s KISS. So I'm going to make this question a little bit more difficult, which is difficult in itself. What are your top 5 Gene songs from the 80s, but only between Lick It Up and Hot in the Shade? Craig, what are your top 5?
Well, there goes my list. No, I'm joking.
Really?
Let me tell you, guys, this is the only homework that I really enjoy. And I think I'm going to get a gold star on this one. Okay, for me, Not for the Innocent. Off Lick It Up. I love that tune. Betrayed. Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell. I like that song. Thief in the Night, which is
Okay.
That's pretty good. And On the Eighth Day on the Off Lick It Up, I like.
Okay, Craig, I got to ask you.
Yeah.
Without naming any, is there other songs that you like from Gene in the 80s? Or was it just tough finding those 5?
I like those songs because they were a little more than just No 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 and Bang Bang You or something.
Yeah, Bang Bang Mule was like
Oh, sorry, that's
but
Paul's
yeah.
song.
Burn,
Yeah,
burn, bitch, burn.
Oh,
that,
God.
that's what I'm thinking of.
Or
Sorry.
log in a fireplace.
I know you.
We have our secret about that one. Right? But no, it's I I think those songs are more melodic than the other ones are. There's a little more substance into the songs rather than just repeating the same lyric over and over. That's just my take on it.
Okay, Claudio.
It's interesting because when I looked at the question, Lick It Up to Hot in the Shade. Okay, so Lick It Up to me was a great record, and I think it was close enough to Creatures and having Vinnie Vincent there. So 4 out of my 5 songs are coming from Lick It Up.
Oh, wow.
And only one.
Biased, are you?
and only one from Hot in the Shade, because everything in the middle, to me, Animalize, Asylum, and Crazy Nights, to me, I think Gene was taking a long nap. So, anyways, so I'm gonna go with Young and Wasted, Fits Like a Glove, Not for the Innocent, and On the Eighth Day. And then I had a hard time trying to find the 5th one, but I had to pick one. Love's a Deadly Weapon. So
Okay.
to me, those 5. The rest, if you're gonna ask me the same question, I couldn't find any other. I could
Okay.
not.
Patrick.
Okay, so there's going to be some similarities with Craig and Claudio. Fits Like a Glove, Betrayed as well, Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell, While the City Sleeps, and also Love's a Deadly Weapon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So did I find any? Yeah, I mean, the problem is that the 80s song were just okay because Gene had written such classic songs such as Deuce, Calling Dr. Love, Rock and Roll Night, you name it. So to come up with that stuff from a garage band, you could say they're okay, but from Gene, that's why I think it's the standards are really much lower.
People often talk about who saved Kiss. Is it Vinnie Vincent? Is it Eric and Tommy? It's, Paul saved Kiss, because without Paul in the 80s, Kiss wouldn't be around today.
I agree so much.
100%.
Yeah. So my top 5, and On the Eighth Day, Cadillac Dreams, Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell. Really, that's it. I thought, I need 2 more. So I put Not for the Innocent. I don't like that on the Lick It Up album. I like the version with Paul and Gene.
Okay.
So I like that version of it. I wish they used that instead.
Yeah.
But it made me appreciate Gene's version a little bit more.
Yeah.
And don't accuse me of not finishing my homework, but I could not, for the life of me, find a number 5.
You could not. Okay.
And not to disrespect the boys of Right Between the Eyes, they did a show about Crazy Nights, and they were reviewing the songs, and they really liked the songs of Crazy Nights. So I thought, let me see if I could find a song from Crazy Nights. Sorry, boys, can't do it. Can't do it. Sorry, can't do it. No.
You know what's interesting, Pascal? I was thinking as we were going through the responses, and not to say that we're all kind of big fans of the 70s and maybe the 90s and blah blah blah, but that would be interesting to ask the same question to younger fans, because there's a lot of people who actually love 80s Kiss. So people who got into the band later, I'm sure that they will find a lot of tunes that we don't even consider, as any with any potential to be as a good song. But maybe that got me thinking that maybe it is a matter of age also, how long you've been a fan with the band and blah blah blah. So I don't know. There seems to be a lot of 80s Kiss fans out there.
Well, 2 points on that. Number 1, I agree with Patrick. How can you like Gene's 80s stuff when you see what he wrote in the 70s with Deuce and these classic songs, that's number one. And number two, yeah, you're right. Maybe newer fans would like Gene's contributions in the 80s, but how do you think they would feel about those same songs once they heard his contributions from the 70s or even his contributions from Revenge?
Yeah.
They're going to say, ooh, those songs aren't so great after all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like we always do on this show, we're gonna try to we will no we're gonna try. We focus on the positive. Okay. So for our final 5 for 5, in your opinion, and this is a good one, I love it. What are the top 5 Kiss successes? So we'll start with you, Pasc.
Okay. I can't believe that after close to 50 years, Kiss can still put on an incredible show that's to be remembered. So for me, my first success would be the End of the Road tour.
Okay.
You know, after all these years, I could say that that is one of my favorite tours. So hats off to them for doing that. That's a huge success. I don't care, number 2, what anybody thinks. Bringing in Tommy and Eric was a huge success for Kiss. For the first time in God knows how long, they finally had stability in the band. And I never knew how tight the band could have been till I heard Tommy and Eric play with Kiss. I remember it was from the Rock the Nation tour. I thought, oh my God, they sound fantastic. They never sounded so good. Then going back to the earlier stuff, I go, ugh, are you kidding me? Compared to this? Doesn't compare, you know? So Tommy and Eric for sure was a huge success. And again, without Tommy and Eric, Kiss wouldn't be around today. Definitely the Kiss Cruises, number 3, a huge success. Again, bringing people together, bringing the family together. Another big success I found was Revenge. You know, like we were talking about before, Gene wasn't there during the 80s. And I don't know how Kiss does it decade after decade, year after year, but they keep drowning and getting themselves back up again. It's incredible. You know, they're dying and they're resurrected. And they did it again with Revenge. One, in my opinion, one of their best albums. And I'm not just saying one of their best 80s albums, one of their best albums in the catalog. And finally, I think one of the best successes, this is my number 5, but I would rate it as a number 1. It's the creation of the Kiss Army. Kiss created a family, a worldwide family. And, you know, once Kiss is long gone, that family is going to continue for generations to come. That is an incredible legacy that's going to leave behind. Forget the music, forget the merchandise. It's how they touched so many people around the world and created that community.
Great points. Love it. Patrick?
For me, one of their greatest successes, the reunion tour, because don't forget that the year prior they were doing conventions for hardcore fans, and not just Kiss, but the general heavy metal rock community was doing bad, extremely bad. Now comes 1996. The reunion, like, wow, those bands are coming back from the dead. And some people even believe that they weren't even together. That tells you, and it brought back Kiss to where we wanted it to be, which is like everybody knows Kiss and everybody knows they're still around, and they were able to regain a certain notoriety. Another success is Alive, because again, Alive was their last hope to make a big success. If Alive would have tanked, probably Kiss would have ended and we wouldn't be talking here today. So I think Alive was a major success. Another one of their successes is the merchandising. They weren't the first band to merchandise, but merchandise that heavily probably, and it inspired other bands to do it, because people would say in the past, oh, it's tacky and it's for kids, but now you got Metallica dolls, Motley Crue, name it, it's there. So they made merchandising cool. Another success, I would say, when they removed the makeup. Now, I know the Lick It Up tour was not successful, but it gave a little spark. Say, oh, okay, they withdraw the makeup, and now we can see their faces, and they were able to
how can I say, making something, you know, like Animalize did okay, it did good, it went platinum. You know, they were having a hard time, but I think I still see it as a success because many people said they would have, after the makeup goes, they're finished, which they weren't. And probably like Pask says, you know, the end of the road, which is continues to do good business. So yeah, they just at a time when you think they're finished, they come back.
Super. Craig?
Okay, well, it's obvious that Pask and Patrick were cheating off me on paper.
Another leak.
Another leak.
But the one I could add probably would be readapting to personnel changes and challenges in their career, right? Like Patrick was just saying about taking the makeup off. It was a readapting to a different genre of fans, or trying to revitalize the career, bringing in Tommy and Eric, like you were saying, how they dealt with Eric Carr's death, what happened, and how they kept the ball rolling, kept the band going, and touring, and not just touring like for the sake of going out and supporting an album or greatest hits or whatever. It's how they're keeping it relevant.
Mhm.
You know, new stage shows, not just the same old stage show. It's Spider, it's the Staircase, it's the whatever the case may be, right? The Statue of Liberty. It was always something new and exciting, and keeping it relevant. And longevity, definitely. It's one of the 50 years. There's not many bands out there. Them, the Stones, some other band, Metallica is getting up there too. What they have and the influence they have on other bands. You know, Gene had, going back to that other question, Gene had said once he can't remember the last super band except for Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
That kept together, right? And they have influence. If you look at Dave Grohl, for example, he's a huge Kiss fan. You got the John Five, his name, is that his name? He's a huge Kiss fan too. So the influence they have on other bands and other people still keeps it alive.
Yeah.
You know, and these other guys sometimes pop a tune in their show or something. This goes to show that the influence and the charisma they have on other bands too, right? So other than that, I had the same ones you did read and such. So
All right. So it's interesting because, you know, Craig, he touched on a couple of that I had on my list. To me, that goes first. It's longevity and 50 years career. And they survived all different eras. Music, you know, changes in the lineup, everything.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it all started with a vision. To me, the biggest success that Kiss had, still has, was the vision, and to take risks and persevere. You know, they knew what they wanted. They never gave up. Now, you know, with the big success and, you know, the big bank accounts, they can say whatever they want. But back in 72, 73, they knew what they wanted and they went for it. To me, another big success for the band was, you know, being able to diversify the music and the show business. So they went pop, they went rock, they went grunge sometime, they went a little bit glam rock in the 80s, came back with Revenge, and they were able to stay there. Maybe not the number one band, but they survived. You know, 50 years now, we still have Kiss. To me, another big success was the first 6 albums, and of course, Alive. To me, that created the baseline of what Kiss is today. Okay, even after the lineup changes and everything, that's a reference. They created a reference for what a rock live show is, even today.
Yeah.
So they created that back in the 70s. And as you said, Pask and Pat and Craig, they're wrapping it up with the End of the Road, which is still one of the biggest shows on earth. And last but not least, I have to say, sometimes we complain, you know, we compare with other bands and blah, blah, blah. But I think that Kiss gave us all kinds of entertainment and excitement that we can hope for.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Cruise, Symphony, Unplugged, the biggest show on earth in the 70s, the biggest show on earth in the 2000s. So, of course, there's always, the demand of box sets and this and that. We're going to get them. I think they gave us everything that we were hoping for.
So, guys, we're going to wrap up the episode, unfortunately, but, thank you so much for a fun episode, an informative episode. And we got a few laughs out of this one.
Yeah. So awesome.
Patrick, any final comments?
Well, again, thanks for having me on this show. You have no idea how much I enjoy talking with fellow fans and, again, hearing different points of views. We don't have to agree. We don't have to see things the same way. And I think that what makes the beauty of all of it. And it's for me, it's refreshing to speak with fans who share the same passion. So for me, I always love it. Always honored to be there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Craig.
Yeah, likewise. I really love the points when you guys are reading out your lists, and I'm going, how did I miss that? That's not true.
It's true.
Like,
It's true.
geez, man, mine sucks compared to that. But again, like you were saying, honored and really fun, and look forward to it, and love the homework.
Craig loves his homework.
Yeah.
A recurring theme in a lot of what I was saying through this episode was that, I thank KISS for bringing us together as a community. And I think this podcast is a small thing that we do to bring the community together. And regardless of how big, how small, how big the numbers, how small the numbers, we're together as friends. Our listeners are coming together as friends, as KISS fans. And, once KISS calls it quits, has reached the end of the road, I hope that this podcast and other podcasts just like it will continue for years to come, because like Patrick is often saying, what a high it is to get together and just discuss our favorite band.
Yeah.
It's just an incredible experience.
Agreed.
And the last word will go to Claudio.
Well, what else can I say after that? So let's wrap it up with a high. I think, again, another great episode here, sharing with you guys. It's always a blast, and I think we're blessed, to be here, to have fun, to still enjoy, music and our favorite band, and share with our friends. And again, thank you, Past, for this great idea of this game. I think it was awesome, bringing this top five, which is I think we're gonna do it again. It's endless, the list is definitely endless.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's it, man. So thank you again, for making me part of this great moment with you guys. Thank you.
No, Claudio, great point. I mean, if our listeners have any ideas for another top 5 at 5, send it to us, and we could use it at a future episode. So again, to the KISS Army, if you want to get involved with our show, send your comments, ideas, and questions to talktome@kissarmynationpodcast.com. We really hope you enjoyed this episode, and remember, never stop rocking. Take care, everyone. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe on YouTube, or follow us on Spotify, Automatic, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to make yourself heard. Leave us a comment on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. See you all soon, KISS Army.